This is The Huddle, presented by the Midwest Christian Boys Football Camp, otherwise known as Man Camp. Welcome to The Huddle. Hey friend, welcome back to The Huddle. I'm Mike McCurry, your host. I'm joined today by our special guest, Chris McCurry, happens to be my father, if you could not already tell. Those of you that are watching on YouTube may see the resemblance. If I took all of the hair off my face, I'd be, well, almost all of it, I'd be pretty close to looking like my dad. We have a similar build, similar voice. We were joking previously that when we would call a house, before caller ID and all that type of stuff, Mom would sometimes get confused as to who was talking. And so he'll talk in just a moment, and you can do your best to judge who's talking. Maybe we'll try to throw our voice a little bit and do ventriloquism. But in all seriousness, you sent your three boys, myself, Micah, Caleb, my middle brother, and Ethan. You sent three of us over the years to football camp. And talk to maybe parents that are listening right now. Maybe some dads, maybe some moms listening. And talk to them about why they should strongly consider sending their boys to this camp. This is not just something you've gotten to see. Yes, you're on staff, you're a coach now, all these types of things. But for years, you were, quote unquote, just a parent sending your boys. Why did you send them? Of course, we know you were told about camp, but what caused you to continue to send us?
Well, the very first year, as I mentioned, we put you on an airplane and flew you from Kansas up here. So we sort of just based off our first pastor, Brother Mike Hall, had recommended it and told us about it. And so by faith, we just sent you up here. You came back and, you know, all of you boys were athletic, you loved sports, but you came back and you didn't talk about football. You talked about the preaching of God's Word. And so to me, you know, we hear football camp, you know, Midwest Christian Boys football camp. We hear about that, but football is not the main thing here. Football camp is about reaching young men and teaching them lessons of life, and we just use football as a tool. You know, when you get knocked down in life, you have to get back up. Same thing as on the football field. You can't just quit. You have your teams counting on you. Your coaches are counting on you. And so football is just a mechanism that we have to try to reach these young men and prepare them for life.
Absolutely.
And so we saw that, how God worked through the preaching and the young and the coaches that invested in you. And we said, hey, we like this, and we wanted to continue. And so it started with you the first year, and then Caleb as he got older and eligible, and then Ethan right behind it. And then as I've got the opportunity and the privilege to come and to work and to see firsthand how you can mold these young men. And it's a blessing to see these young men that I've had the opportunity over years, that some of them are now in ministry.
Right.
And, you know, going out and, you know, gone to Bible college and gotten married and serving the Lord, maybe even as a layman. But some of those lessons that we had the opportunity to instill with them while they're here at Man Camp is, you know, paid great dividends.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many. I mean, football is, well, one, I would say football is basketball, back up. Many other sports, baseball, basketball, they are contact sports. You're going to brush up against someone, you're going to go hard in the paint, all that type of stuff. Football is a collision sport. It's a different thing. Because of that, it teaches some life lessons that many other sports cannot. There's a few other sports, except for like maybe a hockey or a rugby or something like that, which are, you know, to a large degree, more foreign to American audiences. But for American football, the lessons that we learned, but not even with the hardship of it, just learning to play your position. I mean, you were in the military, worked your way up as an officer for years, and we have about 20 seconds left or so here, so we'll pick this thread up tomorrow. But learning to play your position is something that young men learn in football. Not everyone can be the quarterback.
That's right.
And so I'm looking forward to continuing this discussion. Thank you so much for listening to The Huddle. I'm going to ask you, if you would, to share it with a friend. If you, maybe you're a parent listening, a camper, future camper, if you know someone that should be coming to Man Camp, send this episode to them. Tell them that here's a parent that sent his boys to Man Camp, and he appreciated and loved the investment that Man Camp made in his young man, and now he gets to make that investment in others as well. Thank you for listening to The Huddle. Join us tomorrow and all of this week. God bless. Thank you for listening to The Huddle. You can find more information and register for Man Camp online at mancamp1994.org. Man Camp is a ministry of the First Baptist Church in Dwight, Illinois. Join us next time in The Huddle.